So most of the New Balances I have in the collection are made in USA and England variants, with the overall quality and timelessness of those models being the things that are, keeping me coming back. I'm rarely picking up non-specialized New Balances nowadays, but when I caught wind of this new 327 silhouette, I knew I had to make an exception and give them a try. They've been flying off shelves, and at the time of making this video have proven extremely difficult to track down a pair in any colorway. Patience in this case was certainly a blessing, and if you couldn't tell by this standard gray New Balance box and the shoe being out, I was finally able to scoop up a pair. This new for 2020 New Balance 327 draws on the 1970s for inspiration, believe it or not, and in particular the 320 and 355 models of the past. With the overall rise of runners nowadays, Charlotte Lee, the designer of this 327 model, was able to retool those vintage sneakers and come up with this retro, yet modern looking silhouette. There are a lot of great articles, interviews, and resources to be found online about the 327 model and its birth, so I'll be sure to link it all in the description. This specific pair takes on a white, navy blue, gray, and red color blocking. With all of those colors comes a split. So on the lateral side of the foot is a white nylon, while on the medial side is a gray nylon. In that same split, the lateral side obviously uses this navy blue suede, while on the medial side is the red. More of the red can be found at this mid panel with the oversized M logo, as well as a white New Balance text on the inside heel over that red suede. The thing that drew me into this specific colorway has to have been the alternating split and the utilization of the blue and red colors. I think it's just a really good color palette to use on the sneaker. I think the overall use of materials on this pair is pretty decent, especially considering the $90 retail price that these yield. The suede isn't quite that pigskin suede that you'd expect with made in USA and England pairs, but they do have a nice, soft feel to them. Additionally, the nylon is super lightweight but has a nice toughness to it, and I don't expect the material to break down anytime soon. Nowadays, in the sneaker game, anything under $100 is considered to some as a steal, and I definitely agree with that notion. These come standard with a set of white laces that rest on top of a white nylon tongue. And then on that same nylon tongue is that New Balance branding. The inner liner of the sneaker is that same white color, but it seems to be the synthetic leather, which isn't that bad. Additionally, inside the sneaker is this blue insole with some New Balance branding at the heel. These are definitely up to date as far as trends go, with this overall chunky vibe these give off with the oversized white EVA foam midsole. And if you look at them on feet, you'll know what I mean and see how they protrude past the actual uppers. This white midsole rests on top of a classic gum rubber outsole with this sort of dotted circle-like traction pattern. The overall midsole and outsole combination on here reminds me a lot of the waffle traction pattern seen with my old pair of Nike Airtail 179s and the Undercover Daybreaks that I have as well. Like those Nikes, these New Balance 327s have this added lip at the front and at the back of the sneaker with, the soles extending up into the uppers. I'm not sure if it's for looks or if there's an actual use case to them extending up this far, but it certainly gives off that retro vibe. And on the topic of the soles, like the uppers, they're very lightweight and super comfortable. I don't believe the 327 utilizes any sort of crazy New Balance comfort-driven technology, and again, to reference the $90 price point on here, you shouldn't be expecting the same comfort you'd find with something like the flagship 990, but these will certainly do the job. As for fit, I'd stick to your true size. No need to size up on these, as they're not as narrow as they look, and the soft and pliable materials on here should hug your feet just fine. That's just what I think though, so obviously use my advice at your own risk. I was lucky to catch these on Champ Sports on the weekend they released, which was around August 8th of this year, and they sold out pretty quickly. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, these have been super hard to find because people, oddly enough, have been feeling these. These first came on the scene in the form of a collaboration with Casablanca and have since been flying off shelves. Following that collaboration pair, there have been a bunch of general release colorways that have come out this year, and more to come later in 2020. So if you're looking to grab a pair, I wouldn't bother paying resale prices unless absolutely necessary. My recommendation is that you should just be patient and wait on either restocks or new colorways to come out as they're announced. Personally, I think this silhouette is a love it or hate it, and it seems that the general public was super receptive to this new silhouette, and it's likely through the great design, colorways, and marketing. For me, I think they're the perfect balance of what makes up an all-around sneaker to be worn either dressed up or down. I wouldn't mind wearing these with some chinos in more dressed up scenarios, but also in the remaining few weeks of summer with some crew socks and shorts. Overall, I think New Balance hit the nail on the head with this one and are pretty much an instant classic in my eyes. I certainly understand the hype and why people have been feeling them. But more importantly, I'd love to know what you guys think about these. Is the 327 model a New Balance sneaker that's been on your radar? And if you already have a pair, what drew you into them? Was it the price point, or the comfort, or the lightweight feel? And for the people that aren't into these 327s, let me know why you're not into them. I'd love to have a conversation all about it in the comment section below. If you like content like this, let me know by dropping a like. It only takes a second and goes a long way in growing the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Another plug here, but also be sure to follow me on Instagram at StuffDylanLikes. I've been picking up way too much recently, and it's been pretty hard to push out these videos in a timely fashion, so following me on there is the best way to keep up to date. That's all I have for this video on the New Balance 327 though. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.